Namaste everybody, welcome back to the YogaCandi YouTube channel, and if you're new, welcome. I hope you enjoy it. Today's an all levels class. It's a morning flow and it's going to be a combination of Vinyasa and Yin yoga. So it's not really great for total beginners, but of course if you're a total beginner, feel free to join in. We're going to have a couple of yoga blocks, so get them handy. And if you would like to, you can have a rolled up towel as well, just to help you in some of the yin postures. So we're going to start off on all fours in tabletop, knees under hips, hands under shoulders. Just rotate your fingers so your thumbs are on the outside edge of the hands. We're going to find some little circles here, just warming up and stretching through the wrists. So just some little circles in one direction. And then rotate in the opposite direction. If you have hyperextended elbows like me, then you may want to just slightly add a little bend into the elbows, just a tiny bend. And then just send your tailbone back towards your heels, walk your hands closer and get a little more of a stretch down the top parts of the arms, down into the hands. You can find a little movement or just be still. Draw your shoulder blades down your spine. Close your eyes and let's just take 3 deep breaths here. Taking one more deep breath in and out of the nostrils, keeping the breath nice and long through the nose throughout today's class. And gently roll your spine, hold onto your knees, drop your head down and draw your shoulder blades apart. Just taking a couple of deep breaths here. Inhale your hands to the sky, look as they touch. Finding some big circles with the arms. And then rotate in the opposite direction. Back into our tabletop. Hands under shoulders, knees under hips, taking 3 cat-cows. Inhale, drop the belly, look up. Exhale, arch the spine, tuck your chin in your tailbone. 2 more. Inhale, drop the belly. Exhale, arch. 1 more. Exhale, arch. Walk your hands forward, coming down for our puppy pose, hands shoulder distance apart. Keep your hips stacked with your knees and just extend nice and long through the back. Hug your belly button back towards your spine. If you would like to, you can always rest your head onto a yoga block if that's easier for you. Wherever you are, just breathe deep. One more deep breath. And make your way back into tabletop. Keep the arms a little further away, sending your hips up and back into a plank. And draw your feet together. Hug your belly button back to your spine. Make sure you're wrists are in line with your shoulders, and maybe find a little bounce. So you're almost pushing your heels down towards the ground. This is very engaged. Make sure that your tailbone is in line with your head, not lifting too high and not sinking. So just bounce back and forth. And then send your hips up and back into our first downward facing dog. Now your feet are hip distance. Hug your belly button back to your spine. Draw your heels down to the ground. Open up through your shoulder blades. And very slightly internally rotate your thighs. We're just going to take a couple more deep breaths here in our down dog. Now slowly walk your feet all the way to your hands. So you're at the top of the mat, big toes touch, heels about 1 inch apart. Hold on to each elbow and just hang heavy, hanging over the legs. You can bend your knees as much as you need to. Now inhale, half lift, look forwards, hands to your shins. Exhale, fold. Roll your spine slowly all the way to standing. Look up as your hands touch. Exhale them to the side body. Lift up off the left leg. Draw it nice and close towards your abdomen. And just stand here, holding it close towards your belly. If you need to, you can always use your hands to hold it close to you. Or take that extra challenge and just take your hands to your heart center in prayer. One more breath. And then send that leg behind you. Grab the inside edge of the foot for our dancer pose. Look forwards and kick back into that palm. Nice and strong. Kick back. Keep your chest lifted. Don't worry if you lose balance. And slowly release that leg, but keep it off the ground. Hug it back towards your chest. And then take a big step behind you into our high lunge, bending into the front leg. The leg is a 90-degree angle to the mat. The back knee is nice and straight. Heel is off the ground. Inhale your hands to the sky. Go a little deeper. And then open up, warrior two. Open through the hips, keeping the front knee nice and bent. Back leg is straight. Foot a 90-degree angle to the back of the mat. Open up through your arms. Look beyond the right fingertips. Rotating your wrists here in your warrior two. Rotate them in one direction, then in the other. Then straighten the front leg, taking your hand to the inside edge of your thigh, your shin, or all the way to the floor. Look up to the sky, both legs are straight. In for our pyramid pose. Back to warrior two. Bend into the front knee, look beyond the right fingertips. Come up off the back heel, back into high lunge. Inhale the hands to the sky, hips are facing forwards. And fold. Lean over the front leg, fingertips on the ground. Now walk your right foot to the outside edge of your mat so that your hands are on the inside of that foot. So we're in like a runner's lunge, but it's also a little bit of a lizard pose. So just breathe here, opening up through the hip and getting a beautiful stretch down the psoas muscle here on the left side. If this is too much, use your block and come on up. Or you can use your block and come a little lower, just resting your elbows onto that block. Taking a couple more deep breaths here. Remove your prop and step back into plank. Holding your plank, one nice deep breath. Then slowly draw your knees to the ground and chaturanga, bringing your elbows close to the body, bringing your belly down. Inhale to baby cobra or full cobra. Exhale down, push yourself up into plank and then all the way back to downward facing dog. Look between your legs, hug your belly button back to your spine. Externally rotate your shoulders and slight internal rotation of the hips. Taking 2 more deep breaths. Look between the hands, take a nice slow walk, or maybe you can jump between the palms. Inhale, half lift, take your fingers to your shins, look forward, and fold. Just hang heavy, holding onto each elbow, giving into gravity. Once again, inhale, half lift, hands to your shins, look forward and fold. Roll your spine all the way to mountain, inhaling the hands up and over the head, look up. Draw them back to the sides of the body. Lift up through the right leg, hug that knee towards your belly. Don't worry if you lose balance. Hug it as close towards you as you possibly can so you're really engaging into the hip. If you need to, remember you can always use your hands and draw it closer towards your body if that's going to help. We're just going to take 1 more deep breath here. Now slowly take that foot behind you, taking your right hand, grab the inside edge of the right foot. Coming into our dancer pose. Kick into the right hand, look forwards, keep your chest lifted. Don't worry if you fall out of the pose, just come back in again. One more deep breath. And then slowly bringing that knee back down. Keep the foot hovering and draw it back towards your chest just for a breath. And then take a big step behind you into your high lunge. Don't worry if none of this looked very graceful. It's all right if you fall out of it, just come back in. So your back leg is nice and straight, you're bending into the front knee. Your hips are facing forwards. Inhale your hands to the sky. Bend a little deeper into the front knee if you can. And then open up to your warrior two. Your hips are nice and open. You're still bending into the front knee. Your back foot's a 90-degree angle to the back of the mat. Open up through your hands. Look beyond the the left fingertips this time. And you can rotate your wrists in one direction and in the other. Taking one more deep breath here. Straighten the front leg, taking your hand to the inside edge of your thigh, your shin, or all the way down to the ground. Look to the sky. Rotating the chest nice and open towards the sky. Breathe deeply in your triangle pose. And then bend into the front leg, coming back into our warrior two. Opening up through the arms, nice and wide. You might want to find some more rotation of the wrists. And then inhale, come up off the back heel. Face your hips forwards for our high lunge. Inhale the hands to the sky. And then frame the front foot. Plant your hands on the ground. Just walk your front foot out to the outside edge of your mat. In for our lizard pose. Make sure the knee is still in line with the ankle. If you need to move the foot a little further forward, you can do that. Remember to use your blocks if you need them. You can always come up a little higher, or you can come a little lower and use your block just to rest your forearms onto. So wherever you are, stay strong in the body, taking a couple more deep breaths. Remove your prop, plant your hands and step back into plank. Taking one deep breath in your plank. And slowly draw your knees to the ground. Hug your elbows close to the body as you bring your chest all the way to the floor. Inhale, baby cobra or full cobra. Exhale down. Take two more just like that. Inhale for your heart opener. Exhale down. One more. Exhale down. Push yourself up into a plank. And then all the way back to your downward facing dog. Look between your legs. Hug your belly button back. Taking two more deep breaths here. Walk your hands to the center of your mat and draw your bum down to the floor. Hug your knees close towards your body, but keep your toes off the ground. Hug your belly button back to the spine. You can stay here, or we're going to take boat pose. Just take your hands behind your knees, bringing the shins of your legs in line with the mat, so 90-degree angle. Lean a little back until you feel your stomach engage and just hold it for 3 deep breaths. If you want to go further, you can let go of the legs, take them alongside the legs. And release, bringing your toes down to the ground. Extend through your legs. Now we're going to do a few yin poses. So just keep your legs nice and straight. This is where your rolled up towel may come in handy. If you're a little bit inflexible, you may want to just place the towel underneath your knees. Have your toes facing up to the sky. Place a block maybe on your shins just below the knees but not on the knees. And start to lean forwards and maybe just rest your head onto your block. Just feeling wherever you can feel a stretch, so long as it's not too intense and there's no sharp pain. If you're a little more flexible, maybe you can just straighten the legs, start to lean forwards. You may still want to use your block to rest your head onto, and then just grab any part of the leg, maybe the shins or the feet, wherever it may be. We're all going to just take 10 deep breaths together here in this lovely hamstring stretch. So wherever you are, just rest your head, shoulders away from the ears. Keep your spine as long as you can, nice and long. And just keep your breath nice and long and deep through the nostrils. Taking one more deep breath here. Roll yourself back up into a seat. Now we're going to just take staff pose. Hug your belly button back and try to lift your heels off of the ground, just sitting up tall through the spine. You may want to use your hands on the mat so you're engaging into your quads. Just for one more deep breath here. And release. We're just going to take a little back bend using our blocks once again. So take your feet hip distance, bend your knees and slowly roll down onto your spine. We're going to take bridge pose, a supported bridge pose using our blocks. Just feel for your heels. If you can just about feel them, they're in the right place. Perfect. Then inhale, lift your hips to the sky. You can lift them really high or just quite low and use your block on a lower setting. Then rest your hips down onto the block. Make sure your block is placed onto your sacrum, which is the hard bit above your tailbone, and not on the lower spine. Make sure your knees stay in line with your hips and with your feet. If you want to, you can go a bit higher and inhale, lifting your hips a little higher, placing the block on the tallest level, remember, onto the hard part, your sacrum, and then rest your hips onto that block. You can take your hands to your belly and just feel your belly as you inhale and exhale, or you can just interlace your fingers behind the block, squeezing your shoulder blades together, lifting up through the chest. Keep your knees in line with the hips. Together, let's take our 10 deep breaths. One more deep breath. Now remove your block by lifting the hips a little higher and just move your proper side. Just slowly, vertebrae by vertebrae, lower your spine down to the ground. From here, just hug your knees up towards your belly. Let's take a happy baby. Hands inside edge of the knees. Grab the outer edges of the feet and draw those knees down to the floor. Just make sure your tailbone is still down on the mat, so you're not lifting your tailbone up high. Try to keep it nice and low. Just breathe deep. One more deep breath. Releasing your feet. Take your legs up towards the sky. Hug your belly button back nice and tight towards your spine and keep your legs really straight. Feet are engaged. Now take your hands to your hips and we're going to just do a little bit of core. So very slowly lowering the right leg. Make sure your lower spine doesn't lift off the mat at all. If it starts to lift, then exhale, drawing that foot back up to meet the left. So just doing this very slowly, taking each foot at a time. So right and then left. Making sure your lower spine doesn't come up off of the ground. Just rolling that leg as low as it will go before you lift the lower spine. Hover it just for a second at the point where you can get to, and then draw it back up to meet the other foot. Let's take 5 each side. Keep your shoulder blades on the mat as well. Take your hands to your belly and just feel that engagement, hugging that belly button back to your spine. 3 more each side. Nice slow movements. Two more each side. One more, you've got this. And then hug your knees back to your chest. We've got one more pose that we're going to do together. So we're going to make our way onto our bellies. I'm just going to, place my mic back on. So onto your bellies. And we're going to open our our left hand first, out into a T shape. So it's going to be this sort of shape. Make sure your elbow is in line with your shoulder and your hand is in line with your elbow. And place that on the ground, out into this sort of cactus shape, more like. Place your right hand on the ground and look towards the right. We're going to slowly turn the body so that you're getting a stretch into the shoulder here on the left side. You can just slowly rotate and just keep that right leg behind you. You can use this right hand to push yourself a little further over. You can even bend through the knee, place it on the ground behind you. Don't go too far that you actually feel pain. Make sure that there's a beautiful stretch here through the shoulder into the chest. You may need to just move the hand slightly higher or slightly lower to be able to feel the stretch. So wherever you are, just breathe deep. We're going to take 5 deep breaths on this side. And then release, slowly roll forward back to your belly. And just give that arm a little circle. So just lift up off the chest and just circle the elbow in one direction and then in the other. You use the strength of your spine to lift your chest up a little. And then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So taking our right arm out into our cactus shape. Just take a look at it. Make sure elbow's in line with the shoulder, hand is in line with the elbow. Place your head down on the ground. Look towards the left side of the room. Plant your left hand on the floor and push yourself over so your chest is open. You may want to bend the leg and place it on the ground, or you can just keep it nice and long. So keeping that top leg behind the bottom leg. Breathe deep. When you find that stretch, then just breathe into the pose, taking 5 deep breaths. And then slowly, slowly roll yourself back to your chest. Release that arm nice and slowly. Come up onto the left forearm and just finding circles with that arm in one direction and then in the other. And then push yourself up. Take a comfortable seat, any seat of your choice. We're just going to end with some neck rolls and a lovely moment of silence and meditation together, but it's only going to be a minute together, guys, so please try not to skip it and join me. So we're just going to start off in our comfortable seat. Roll your shoulders back and down, close your eyes and just start to find some neck rolls, just rolling gently from side to side. Finding one more roll. And then draw your head back up to center. Sit up tall through the spine. Gently hug your belly button back. Take the tops of the hands, so not the palms, the tops, onto your knees. Close your eyes. Together just 1 minute of complete silence, listening to the natural breath. Feeling your chest rise and fall. Allow all thoughts to pass. Pay them no attention. Rest the space between your eyebrows and become heavier and heavier into the ground. We're going to sit in total silence just for a moment. Okay, you can stay here and meditate as long as you like, or you can end your practice with me by wiggling the fingertips, keeping the eyes closed. Just feel that warm tingling sensation coming back into the hands. Then rotate your hands in one direction, eyes still closed, and then in the other. Inhale your hands above your head, allow your face to follow the sky. Exhale, bow, draw your hands to your heart in prayer. Bow your head, eyes still closed. Namaste, everybody. You can open your eyes. Thank you so much for joining me. I really hope you enjoyed this flow and that it left you feeling a little looser, a little more energized, but also relaxed at the same time and ready to float your way through the day. Do let me know how you got on. And guys, if you would like, you can sign up on my website, YogaCandi.com. And on there you can get my free ebook, which will help you with alignment. If you're struggling with alignment tips and you just need to look at something and just see exactly what it is you need to do, then feel free to do that. It's there for you guys if you would like it. I do send an email as well every now and then, so maybe that will be something interesting to you too. And don't forget, I'm on Instagram and Facebook, so if you're on either of those platforms, feel free to find me. The links are below in the description. So until our next class, feel free to leave video requests. I always love to see what you guys are after and to incorporate your ideas. So until next time, namaste.